Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Wrong About Sports. I am discouraged Chicago Bears fan, Brian McDaniel.
And I don't even know what to think, Vikings fan, Karla.
And we are
wrong about
sports.
sports. I
Well,
don't know. I don't know, Brian. I
yeah.
don't know. I don't know. I mean, let's just not even talk about the Packers because they looked on fuego yesterday. You know what? We should get this out of the way. If you're the tight end Kraft, you probably want some craft beer, which is brought to us by our sponsor, probably. Yes.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Our sponsor, the Minnesota Licensed Beverage Association, who has been working with their retail members up at the Capitol since 1952. They want to make sure that their members know that with the MLBA, you are not alone. So
and definitely Kraft, the tight end for the Packers, was not alone last night because he led the tight ends on, and it was tight end day or something.
Sunday was National Tight End
Day.
First of all, but yeah, no, I was especially upset because I was way ahead in my fantasy football game against Pat Garofalo, a name that you all know, and I was up against Kraft and Boswell, and I lost. So
yeah, Kraft had 2 tutties, led the league in yards for tight ends. Love was phenomenal. I did not start him. I started Rodgers because I thought that guy had a chip on his shoulder, but apparently that guy is showing his age, and so is his offensive line.
He has a chip. It's just over 40 years old, so
it needed a reboot. Anywho, enough about the damn Packers.
Yeah,
I think whatever, they're just doing well.
The Lions were on a bye, so we don't need to
talk
about them. But the Thursday night game, Vikings against the Chargers.
Oh boy, where do we even start? So 10:37, Vikings got their tails kicked. Wentz, 144 yards, 1 tutty, 1 interception. That offensive line was what my husband calls an Olay block the whole damn game. We lost Darisaw right off the bat. I think he only played 1 series, 9 plays, something like that. And we just can't stay healthy on that O-line. Wentz, I think somebody said something like this on the social media, but like if that was a boxing match, somebody would have thrown in the white towel for Wentz, because he was just, dude was in tears by the end of the game, not because of them getting their butts kicked, but because of physical pain. And they just couldn't stop him from being hit. And Justin Jefferson clearly frustrated. Look, 74 yards, 11 targets. That's pretty consistent for him this year, not previous years. He only has 1 touchdown this year. He had 10 last year. I looked on ESPN because I was curious about that. I'm saying my prayers, and I think they were answered because JJ McCarthy is slated to start against those Lions, who are coming off a bye, who were banged up this Sunday. And hopefully we're healthier. They're definitely going to be healthier. Their secondary was banged up. And so I think it's going to be quite a match coming up on Sunday. But, it's I don't know what to say. The quarterback situation is disastrous. We couldn't get our run game going. Jones was back. Mason couldn't get going. He had 0 fantasy points for me this week. Usually they kind of have a tandem when Jones and Mason are in both healthy and in play. So I don't know. It just was frustrating. Sad. Play call was questionable. Again, another kick hit a wire. Second one for the Vikings that should have been caught by officials. Anyway.
Well, what I don't understand is, I'm certainly not a Vikings fan in any sense of the word, but I have a lot of respect for Kevin O'Connell, their coach. I don't understand what Wentz was doing out there playing as long as he was. He quite obviously was not physically up to the task.
Mhm.
And, once they're losing as much as they were, why not put in Max Brosmer for no other reason than for just the physical health of
Yep.
Carson Wentz? It,
Yep.
it didn't make a ton of sense to me, especially since it's not like the game was close.
Nope.
So, yeah.
No. And I think you got to worry about next week. Next Sunday, you got Goff, who's, 20 of 29, and threw for 241 yards against Tampa before the bye. I mean, so, in our Viking secondary can't tackle. I, I mean, some say that we're better at the pass rush than the defense. I don't even know if we're good at either. Like, God bless you if you say that. But right now, our defense, I mean, we can't even stop a short, how all season, you can't stop the short pass. I mean, if everybody can see that and if Florida's can't figure that out, I mean, Cashman is back and they're just standing around, and Cashman has to run up, who's a linebacker, and help these guys. It's like they're just standing around. And I love Harrison Smith. He is the heart and soul of that defense. Man, there's just something going on. There is just something going on. He does not have the speed, does not have the Hitman Harry mentality anymore. I don't know what to say about that other than definitely his last season, because he doesn't have what he used to. And I don't know. It's going to be a rough, I think, end of season. But us Vikings fans, we're used to this. We always have high hopes, high expectations. But let's see. McCarthy's coming back, and let's see what he can do. And if he can light a spark in this team and give them hope, that's a lot of pressure to put on such a young kid. In technically his rookie season. Let's see. Let's see.
Well, and the Vikings always do this, but usually they wait until the end of the season to crush your hopes and dreams. They're at
Yeah.
least getting it out of the way a little early. I think you have to kind of look at it and say, are the Vikings the NFL's most disappointing team?
Yeah.
They how many games did they won 14 games last year,
Yeah.
and so I mean, season's not over. A lot of games left to play, but it's not looking good. It's not
Well,
looking
we
good.
have a tough season coming. I mean, we have a tough schedule coming up too. It's not like we have some easy teams to play. Starting off with the Lions on Sunday. So I don't know. We have such a stacked roster too, and a really good coaching staff. So to your point, and I couldn't agree more. Like, are the Vikings the most disappointing team? So
Well, I was disappointed this week, for sure against for my Bears again. They traveled to Baltimore to play the Ravens, and this is not a game where at the beginning of the year I would have marked it down as a win for the Bears. It's on the road. The Ravens were supposed to be a pretty good team, but late in the week, and we can talk about this part. Late in the week, the Ravens, after saying that Lamar Jackson was participating in full in practice, they kind of retroactively changed that to limited and then to out. So when we heard that it was going to be Tyler Snoop Huntley playing quarterback for the Ravens, the Bears got a little bit of hey, maybe stuff's lining up for us.
yeah,
Won 4 in a row, maybe 5 in a row, and the Bears' first two series, they looked phenomenally good, but came away with only 2 field goals. And then after that, the Ravens offense woke up, and then it wasn't really close. Now, one thing about the Bears is that their defense is so banged up. They're down.
yes,
They're down their top 3 corners. They got on the first play, they lost a defensive lineman, and for as encouraged as I am for the Ben Johnson era in Chicago, they have a lot of undisciplined penalties.
yeah,
And to a certain degree, that does come back to coaching a little bit, because some of it is It's just discipline, and they don't have it. Even in the games where they're doing well, there are lots of penalties. There are lots of formation issues, offsides, lining up offsides, false starts on 3rd and 1. Just like stuff you can't have happens continually. And Caleb Johnson played better than he did last week.
Williams. Caleb Williams.
Caleb Johnson. Who's Caleb Johnson? Oh, the guy for the Steelers. Caleb Williams played better than he did last week, but had a horrible interception toward the end of the game that really did almost seal it. But one thing, and I'm getting tired of talking about this, but once again, this game was ultimately determined by the referees. The Bears were down 1 touchdown. They were about to stop the Ravens where D-Hop, DeAndre Hopkins, on 3rd and long, pushes off against a Bear receiver, and on the same play grabs his face mask, which turns his head. They call it a catch, no penalty, 1st down. Game was pretty much over from that point. The Bears had a little bit of some clock management stuff at the end, but they were down more than 1 score, so it only matters as it matters. But they're 4-3, but they're an up and down team. They're young, but they're an up and down.
Yeah, and I think it'll be our teams that'll be hitting the basement of this division. But I think, to your point, they did have an opportunity without Lamar Jackson, but you had 2 rushing touchdowns by the only king I want in this country, King Derrick Henry. You had 3 field goals by Luke, who unfortunately I was playing in fantasy football. And then Charlie Kohler had a nice touchdown from Tyler Huntley. There was the opportunity for the Bears there to capitalize on this if they were discipline focused. And I think the penalties are a huge problem. I think the injuries are a problem. And then, Caleb Williams, 25 for 38 attempts, not bad. He had 285 yards thrown, no touchdowns, and 1 interception, as you pointed out. He was spreading the ball around actually quite a bit. And so I think, unlike our quarterback, Wentz, he doesn't really telegraph his plays. So, Andy's dangerous with his legs on top of it. He can run, and he's a big boy, and he can't take him down too much. So I think, he needs some focus and some discipline himself, and maybe to step up a little bit and try to command, I think, a little bit more as I think to kind of help the coaching staff out. But, you had Huntley that he was 17 for 22, 186 yards. Zay Flowers was had a game, with 7 receptions. I think is a pretty good thing for him. He normally does not get that kind of attention from Jackson because Jackson uses his feet more. And so, the game plan should have accounted for that later in the week when you knew about that. And I just felt like maybe the defense just wasn't prepared.
Well, that's my opinion. The NFL is taking issue, certainly the Bears are, with the injury designation that the Ravens gave Lamar Jackson, because they had indicated that he was participating in full and then retroactively changed that. They're saying it was an honest mistake. But the NFL doesn't take that too lightly, not just because it's not fair to the other team, but with gambling and all that stuff. So I'm sure a fine will be coming the Ravens' way, which they'll be happy to pay. But that the officiating this year, I don't know how much of the Giants-Eagles game that you were able to watch too, but the referees, through sheer incompetence, are just impacting these games in such an inappropriate way that it's frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating for the players, certainly frustrating for the fans. Just getting back to that Giants-Eagles game, Cam Scatabo, who was set up to be, this year's hot commodity. He's done for the year now. Horrific ankle injury, really
Yep.
ugly. As soon as it happened, you texted me, so I went and
Yeah.
watched it. But I feel bad because I was getting ready to get a Scattaboo jersey because that guy is nuts.
He
But
is. He is. And it came out that it was a bilateral tibia,
yeah,
but it's a dislocated ankle. I
yeah,
mean, he's out for the year, but speedy recovery thoughts for him. Because you always love players for the sheer love of the sport. You love players that bring that kind of energy to it. But you know what you don't like? You don't like uniforms
no,
like the ones the Steelers had to wear last night.
ooh, just
Oh my God. Like,
those were offensive to the eye.
did somebody lose bet? I
Well,
don't
I
know.
mean, it's a throwback. So at one point in time, those must have been what the Steelers uniforms looked like. But
Yeah.
yeah, you don't have to do that. You're not
Ah,
you're not mandated to walk out in those. Gabe just put up a picture of the Honey Nut Cheerio
yeah,
recently
it's
because
accurate.
when we were talking about it on text last night, I said it makes me want to have a bowl of Honey Nut Cheerios. Just
Fair.
ridiculous.
Well, heart healthy there with those
Yeah,
Cheerios. But like, you just look at that and Rogers had the opportunity last night. Let's just bash Rogers for a little bit because it's
yeah,
fun. But like he had the opportunity last night to join an elite group of quarterbacks by defeating as quarterback every single team in the NFL. Now he did not do that last night because he did
did not.
not beat his former team yet and has not, which might be his last season, we hope. Anywho, because it's kind of frustrated this year, but you had Brady who did it most recently, who had defeated every single team, and then you had Favre who did it very first time ever, and then you had Peyton Manning and Drew Brees all had that honor of doing that, but he would have joined that elite group.
No Warren
All
Moon?
no, no,
I actually,
all
that was
Hall of
for sure. I thought he would be on there. Was he AFC? No, he was both leagues.
yeah, no, all Hall of Famers. And Rogers obviously will be a first ballot Hall of Famer,
Yeah.
no question. But there was some history made yesterday. Jay Taylor, Jonathan Taylor, had himself another game. But 3 tutties. First time in NFL history that a player had 3 touchdowns in 3 consecutive games against the same team.
Yeah.
So Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, sorry, does it kind of consistently, but he has never done it against the same
Yeah.
team 3 times in a row. So, consistently. So, that's an honor. And Jonathan Taylor will this year break records. He'll probably be the leader for rushing touchdowns in the league. History, not just a season, but just history. So, he's just an amazing athlete. And, what a feat for him to do. Just
And
there's a lot of good football yesterday.
yeah, the Colts are looking really
Yeah.
good. Who's their quarterback?
Oh yeah, that's Daniel Jones. Daniel
Yes,
Jones.
Daniel Jones. Who did he play for at
Yeah,
the end of last
that
year?
would be the Vikings.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Sam
the Colts are
Darnold.
no joke. The Colts
Yeah.
are no joke, and they need to be taken seriously. And now with the Steelers losing yesterday, you have the Steelers and the Ravens are only 2 games away from each other, so that's going to be in their division in the AFC East. You're going to have quite a fight there for those the playoff fight there. It's just always kind of a fight between those guys. But and old man Flacco had himself a game,
Yeah.
even though he didn't win. But hey, wait for it. Jets won,
Jets won.
and wait for it, Miami won.
Yep. Yeah.
What?
It was there's probably a team or two that got kicked out of their Survivor League with those games. Though I don't know if anyone was taking the Bengals. But yeah, the NFL's been pretty entertaining this year. All in all, I'm getting some new stars, and Jonathan Taylor, as you mentioned, absolutely having his breakout season. He might end up being the NFL MVP.
Yeah.
He looks that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, and even though we got more to talk about, but we got Kansas City playing well again, but we're starting to get some other teams that really are Super Bowl contenders, and that's good because we just I don't like it when you have every year it's the Eagles beat the Chiefs or the Chiefs beat the Eagles, or there's only like 4 teams that even have a chance. I want to see some new blood in the Super Bowl.
I thought the Bills were going to do it this year, but they're on a little bit of a oops. They're stepping in it. So
they look good this week, but
they look fine this week.
Carolina without their starting quarterback, but still.
Yeah, but yeah, it's gonna and now we're halfway through the season, and so like now is kind of where the rubber hits the road, and you really gotta these wins. I mean, obviously each week matters, but now is just where you really gotta figure it out. And so like that's what's frustrating about the Vikings is like we almost have to win out every single game to even be in consideration for playoffs from here on out. I mean, we don't have any wiggle room to even be considered
the audacity
for
of
a
you to
wild
even
card.
say that.
Yeah. Well, I don't need the Bears to make the playoffs. I just need the Bears to show steady progress, and I guess they are. Though I'd say this week was a step back, but they're hurt. I'll give them that. Now, before we start talking about the Monday night game, friend of the program, Adrian Peterson, ran into some trouble.
Literally.
So, who wants to kind of go through what I always want to call him AP. His nickname was actually AD, which was for all day, but he was arrested for DWI and unlawful possession of a weapon in Texas, and unfortunately, this is not his first infraction here.
No, he got picked up here allegedly, because we got to say that allegedly after the draft party for the Vikings here in the spring, about the same. Oh yeah, I was gonna say 0.14. Yeah, so
that's at 10 a.m.
Yeah, at 10 in the morning. So I don't know if he just continued from the night before, or if if you don't start in the morning, you can't drink all day. And his nickname was All Day, so maybe that's where this all comes from. But this is not his first kind of controversy.
No.
Because there were some issues with him using a switch to hurt his child. And I teach American government at Concordia University here in St. Paul, and I teach my students that we have 3 branches of government. We had a 4th branch, but Adrian Peterson used it to discipline his child. So
that's so horrible.
You use that in your stand-up?
Yeah. Well, actually, I used to tell that joke because I thought it was a football joke or a political joke, but in reality, it's been brought to my attention that's a child abuse joke.
Yeah, it's not funny.
So by not laughing, you're helping me set healthy boundaries. So thank you, Karla. Thank you very much. And Gabe, stop encouraging.
I know, I'm sorry about that, but it was just out of touch with it was just great. It was like watching it. It was like time traveling in a way.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say, think of like the esteem that guy has enjoyed through his life. Like, how many Deweys has he been allowed to skate on?
Yeah.
Right.
Fair point.
It's got to be crazy. And then I love the fact that his name was AP to everyone in the world, but he named himself AD, by the way. Yeah. So it's like, but your nickname's like, it's AP though. AP. No. I'm AD all day.
All day.
And then he threw himself a party where he's a pharaoh or Egyptian pharaoh or whatever as a 32-year-old man.
He hasn't yet. I think has filed his retirement papers? I think he has actually, but he's damaging his opportunity, and he, without his off field, very serious issues. In all seriousness, he has very serious off field issues. he legit would be a first round Hall of Famer like Tom Brady will be, like Aaron Rodgers will be, like Justin Jefferson will be.
Between him and Barry Sanders, like greatest running backs I've ever seen.
Yep. And so he's jeopardizing the honoring of his accomplishments professionally because of his off-field very serious issues.
Oh yeah.
Well, we hope him well. He's got a million kids, and he is somebody that people rely on. So hopefully he can get his act together, and that this is a wake up call. Three DWIs in a year, that's a lot.
If you played the parlay on that, you'd be making money. Real quick, just because I have the graphic, I found the only jersey uglier than the Steelers ones. You guys want to guess? For the throwbacks?
Yeah, brown Broncos ones.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the Broncos.
Oh my gosh, I didn't see that on the list, but I got this one.
Well,
the
Bears 25. It's not helped by that throwing motion.
That would look like a flag, one of the flag crew jerseys nowadays. You couldn't use that.
Well, they say the good old days weren't always so good. So
boy.
That's pretty terrible.
Boy. Oh man.
All right.
I can't see that well. I wonder which lame Bears quarterback that was.
That throwing motion is egregious. Like, I don't even know how you could catch an NFL guy in that pose.
That's not McMahon.
Number 12, it says.
Oh, number 12, Caleb Haney. I think that would have to be.
Oh, what a pull.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, actually. Anyway, unless he was making fun of someone else's throwing motion, that's not appropriate.
Why?
Yeah, we got some bad humor going on today.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to Monday Night Football.
Yeah, so speaking of bad humor, I don't know how this game's going to go, Brad. I really don't. I could see it being a very competitive game, and I could see it being a blowout, right? Like, I know you're like, well, Captain Obvious, Karla, but I just think you have the Commanders 3-4 in the NFC East. You have the Chiefs that are third in the AFC West, and they're 4-3, and they had a rough start. This is in Arrowhead. You got Kansas City by 11 and a half points. So the markets are saying, oh, this is going to be an ass kicking. But it's in Arrowhead. The under on it is a total of 48 points. So they believe you should take the under, and that it's going to be, kind of a, low scoring game. But you don't have Jaden Daniels. You have Marcus Mariota. And so that's a game changer. But you got Mahomes, who's Mahoman. He's doing his thing. He's being pretty consistent. I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, the Chiefs are starting to play like the Chiefs, and the Commanders, lost to the Bears and lost to Dallas, and now they're going to have Mariota back playing quarterback. I don't think it lines up very well.
Yeah.
It's the NFL. Remember, we talked about Chiefs Jaguars a couple of weeks back, and I thought the Jaguars didn't have a chance, and they ended up, I think they even won that game. But tonight, I would say that I think it's going to lean heavily on the Chiefs, which kind of leads into one of my prop bets, if we can maybe use that as a trade. Is that I really see Isaiah Pacheco really taking over that backfield. There's some thought that the Chiefs are going to trade for Breece Hall from the Jets. I mean, he would make them, an overwhelming favorite if that were to happen. But Kareem Hunt and Brashard Smith, they're starting to lose snap share. So with the prop of 45.5 yards rushing, I'm going to take the over for Isaiah Pacheco. I'm feeling that's kind of a smash. And then because I think that the Commanders are going to be playing from behind, and that Mariota doesn't have the arm to be able to get it to Debo and McLaurin very consistently. The prop of 3.5 receptions for tight end Zach Ertz. I'm going to take the over on that as well. I think he's going to have 7, 8, 9 catches.
Yeah, so I think it's going to depend for your prop plays. Ertz is definitely a solid one. I'm not certain about the game plan for the Kansas City offense. I think it can go either way. I think, Mahomes obviously has a lot of control over once he gets out there, but also obviously during the week for prep. I don't know. The Commanders kind of middle road when it comes to their defense. They're literally middle of the league on both pass and rush defense. So I think I'm going with the over on Mahomes because he actually has a completely healthy receiving core. And I think when he knows he has a weak defense or a mid defense, I think he's going to exploit it. And so I think Rice, neither one of us picked his receiver, Rashid Rice. Probably a safe prop play if you want to say him on the over because he loves him. And so I think that's somebody that would be another one. But I think Mahomes is going to have some fun tonight. And I think he's going to try to air it out. So he has only had one game with fewer than 30. It's not even less than that, 30 passing attempts. So I'm going to go with over on Mahomes. He has Rice, Kelsey, Brown, and Juju Smith-Schuster. He spreads the ball around. I like that. And then now for my Commanders one, I'm going with Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. And I'm going to say he's going to have over on rush attempts. Notice I didn't say yards.
Yeah.
I went on attempts. Kansas City defense is excellent on is good against the pass and decent against the rush. But if you look at what Krosky-Merritt has done, he's had against the Chargers, had 14 attempts. Chicago, he had 17. And then Dallas, he had 13. Not stellar defenses, but I think 11 is a decent number to say he's going to have 11, 12 essentially attempts if you're taking the over on this, because Marcus Mariota is not a runner. He's a pocket guy. And so he's no Jaden Daniels. He's not really a run threat. And so I think they're going to use him a lot. I think the over on the attempts. That's my thought. Not that he's going to have a lot of yards. I just think they're going to try to get him to bust through and wear down that defense.
Yeah.
So that's my long explanation.
Yeah. Well, they need to slow down the Chiefs. So
yeah.
You do that by trying to run the ball consistently. So it'll be a good game tonight. There's only one game tonight. And I said last week, I prefer one Monday night game. 2 Monday night games. That's too much. Too much. I know that's not your opinion, but no. I'm looking forward to tonight. And I got a couple of fantasy games that are going to depend on what happens tonight. So I'm looking forward to that. So with that, I am Chicago Bears fan, Brian McDaniel.
And I'm just flustered and frustrated Vikings fan, Karla Bigham.
And we are
wrong about
sports. Thank you, Gabe.